Okay, so as you can see, we got the lines in the floor or the grooves in the wood to show up in perspective. And as you can see, I didn't click apply yet because I wanted to show you that how the floor is skewed over. So once you have it like laid out where you want, you would click apply, and it'll keep the floor in that perspective. Now, I'm going to just shut the flooring off for a second, and I wanted to show you that I have two layers here for the perspective drawing. And one is the actual drawing layer, which you can see here. And it's just selected, so maybe the floor would go away. All right, let me then click undo, move. So it puts that drawing back. Okay, and you're going to see that I have two of the same drawings here. And if I shut this one off, it's going to show you there's one layer for the shadowing, and there's one layer for the actual perspective. And we're going to use both of these because once we lay down the floor, we also want to be able to add nice shadows to it that's going to be able to add a little realism to the perspective drawing. My floor is still disappearing. I don't know why. I think I'm going to have to shut off some of these programs just to get it to maybe work a little bit faster. Okay, but I did wanted to show you that the other drawing behind here is, I'm just going to go to the PowerPoint file because it's much faster, but you'll see the two drawings are over each other. One is with shadows, and there's another one without shadows. And basically, on the Photoshop file, they're on top of each other, and basically we use the shadowing that is seen here as a way to know which areas of the floor we're going to darken. So it's that's why you're going to see two perspective layers. Now, if I go back into Photoshop, um, you can see how they're over each other if I hide that layer. So this is our shadow layer. Our actual perspective is over the shadow layer. And it's going to turn it back on. And one of the things I'm going to do now is I'm going to select the flooring with the magic wand tool. And it's going to select all the flooring. Okay, well, it's selecting part of the desk, which we don't want. So then I use this lasso to make sure we don't cover the desk with the wood. Okay, so only the flooring material is selected here. Then if I go to the floor, I'm going to click on select inverse, and that's going to protect the flooring area. Then I'm going to go to the floor layer, turn the flooring back on, and then I'm going to take my eraser tool and I'm going to erase everything outside of the floor. And I'm going over it like I was before with the wallpaper. And it's just erasing all of those areas of the floor we don't need anymore. And gotta delete that. Furniture. If you want to make your brush bigger to erase faster, you can. Just trying to. I mean, my brush is set at 121, but it's You get the idea. So it's erasing everything that's out of the flooring area. Okay. And there's two ways you can do this. Like I said before, you can place the floor behind the drawing and then erase the floor in the actual rendering. But I think this works fine as a starting point. Now I'm going to go back to I'm going to go to my shadow layer now. So I'm going to shut the flooring off. I'm going to shut the perspective off. I'm going to select the shadow layer. So the flooring is off and the perspective drawing over the shadow layer is off. And I'm going to select deselect because now we don't need to protect the floor anymore. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm on the shadow layer. You know what? I'm going to label this shadow layer so that way we know which one is which. And the perspective layer. Okay, so the only one we're seeing now is our shadow layer. And then I am going to take the magic wand tool and select all the shadowing that is on the floor. And of course, you know, other stuff gets selected in there. So let's see, deselect. We could also use this tool here to draw out the areas we want to darken. So, I mean, this takes a little bit more time. Or we could use the magic wand tool just to select the light areas only, which I think might be better. Okay. And then inverse those so that way, you know, put it back. Yeah, okay, this should be good enough. Okay, then we're going to take the flooring layer now, turn it on. And it should be popping up over the drawing. And again, my computer's a little slow. I think it's because I got everything running at the same time. So my graphics card is a little let me see if I can just shut off. I might have to shut this off for now. Okay, so the flooring layer is selected and the areas of the plan were selected. Now I'm going to go to image, go to adjustments, and then you just go to brightness and you can adjust the areas that you want to lighten or darken. So we wanted to actually inverse the other one. So I'm going to cancel out of this. Did I do that? Yeah, undo state change. Okay. Yeah. Redo state change. When I go to select, inverse. Then go to image adjustments and then bring down the brightness so that these floor is a little darker than the other. So we have the shadowing in here. Okay, click on OK and then select deselect. Okay, and it adds a little shadow to the floor. You can also add darken these lines if you want to show more of the groove. Um, but overall, this gives you an idea how to lay down the floor pattern in perspective. In our next tutorial, we'll cover adding the actual elements to the rendering, such as the ceiling, the lighting. Um, this wall didn't get colored in SketchUp, so we'll add this green color to this wall, and and maybe add a couple of accessories just to make this a little more. Oh, we can also do the logo, add some lighting here. So it's going to be a really fun rendering to see how it develops over in the next couple of tutorials. Okay.